Good morning, welcome to Williamson County Board of Commissioners meeting, Friday, August 29th, 2025. It's 9 a.m. Roll call, please.
Tim Atkinson.
Present.
Jim Marlowe.
Present.
Jim Rice.
Present.
All right, well, we've got everybody here on a Friday morning. We don't have a lot of business to take care of, hopefully it's going to take a long time. Is there any old business tonight? Anybody have anything old business? No? Okay, so we've got new business. We have, first thing on new business is appropriations transfers. And gentlemen, you might remember back in February, we got word that we had a situation in the telecommunicators office, in the sheriff's office, that the console part was breaking down and needed to be repaired. And at the time, we didn't have the ability to appropriate the money, but the sheriff took that money out of his budget and paid for that equipment. And we had agreed at the time to put that money back in to his budget at some point in the future. That's what this is. This $214,623. And I suggest that we take that money from the transfers capital account and put it into the radio room office.
Can I inject something?
Let me,
That's, yeah, go ahead, Jim.
well, we talked about putting it, taking out capital improvement.
That would be the capital improvement transfer, not the capital improvements. That's the money, right? Actually, that's the money that we have ready to go into capital improvement as needed.
Yeah, I mean, I think you should clarify something. The money was available in capital improvement trust. He just didn't follow the procedure to request that. And he wrote it out in general,
Right.
because the money was available. So I'm just saying,
So it's in the capital improvement trust.
well, so if you cannot transfer money back into the budget from an exterior source. So the capital improvement trust, is a standalone, trust within the general fund for all capital improvement purchases, that you guys approve. In order to be able to put the money back in the general fund budget of any department, you have to transfer it from within a general fund line. So in the commissioner line item, you've allotted $987,000, I think, to be transferred at some point in time throughout the year or at a final transfer into the capital improvement trust. So we're going to take it from that line item that's already in the general fund and then move it into that radio room line item to be able to make it whole. So then whenever we do the transfer into the trust, it'll be less this 214, 623.
And I should have clarified that actually, yeah, that money is already been budgeted. It's
Right.
It's in the budget overall.
And it's used as a tool to control when money is moved into the capital improvement fund, correct?
Yeah, so, I think you have a policy in which the capital improvement fund has to have a minimum of
240 or something.
it's either 225 or 250
Yeah.
at all
Something like
times.
that.
So as money, if it's necessary, we can transfer it throughout the course of the year. But if it's got enough in there, which, at this point in time, because we transferred a large amount last year. At the end of the month, for 731, there was still 1.8 million, which, obviously that's primarily for animal
That's
control.
animal control fund.
But so if nothing else is done, basically we'll be transferring 700 plus thousand at the end, right before the fiscal year, to deposit them to bring. So.
Okay. Anybody have any other questions about this? That would be my suggestion. Is anybody have a different suggestion?
I think this is the way this is created to give the flexibility to make these transfers.
Right.
I think
No, it's set up correctly, I believe.
it's the solution for this.
Right. Okay, then I'll make a motion that we transfer $214,623 from the transfers capital account, which is 52999-001, to the sheriff's radio room office account, which is 50414-001. Is there a second?
Second.
Yes. Okay, roll call, please.
Tim Atkinson.
Yay.
Jim Marlowe.
Yay.
Jim Rice.
Yay.
And then, just for information purposes, that radio room office account had actually been carrying a negative balance, right? Right, so this ends that negative balance in that office. Okay. All right, moving on from that. Enterprise contract for the coroner's vehicle. The,
Well, it won't make it public. It's a negative 215,284, because it had $2,000.
so he still has a negative balance.
He's spent that.
Okay. That's not our problem.
Yes, as long as the total
Right.
budget for the department
So we paid,
is in the black, that's all that matters.
what we paid was exactly what
Yes,
was
that's
paid,
exactly what was paid out to them.
which is exactly what we agreed to pay. On the record. All right, back to the enterprise contract for coroner vehicle. Coroner is needing a new, this would be like the one that he uses every day, I believe, right?
It would be to replace the Expedition. The current average.
The Expedition he was driving, right?
15 plus years old.
And this is going to be a GMC Yukon XL, which is a suburban size, same size as the Expedition that he's driving.
Which actually I saw, I was driving at a zone meeting in Wabash County, actually, when I was driving through White County, I saw the White County coroner driving a black Suburban.
Okay.
It just happens, driving down the main, the Carmine, and, there it was.
So I talked with Dave, the previous coroner, about this briefly. And the vehicle that he's driving is like 2005 or 2006 or something. It's about 12 years old. And it has definitely seen better days. So he's made this request. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts on this?
See the need for the vehicle. I suppose this is the only type of vehicle that's available for these purposes that Enterprise offers.
No,
Are there other vehicles?
I mean, there's others. I mean,
I
so
mean-
I think the requirement is from when I talked to the coroner was you gotta have a cab space of at least 7 feet, which would be a Suburban, a Yukon XL, or I believe an Expedition
Yeah.
style.
So as I had in my mind, it would be like a van.
Well, they did need some kind of four-wheel drive capability, so all of those would have some type of.
And just with your last comment, Jim, I believe that we'll probably get another request from him shortly for a van type vehicle also, because the van, he has two of them. I think the van, which I guess, is that what the deputies drive?
Yeah, it's a Plymouth Voyager, which I guess is not part of the operation. So there's a quote for a Chrysler Pacifica that Enterprise has supplied. So that would be the addition.
What are your thoughts on this?
ETSB picked up a vehicle for GIS work last year. Similar size, I'd have to put them side by side to know what it is. Considerably less the lease, although we did have to put some money down on that. I guess I have a little bit of an issue here with this vehicle. And I get what we need, but when you look at the line by line here, perforated leather seating, Bose 10 speaker surround sound, premium smooth ride suspension. It looks like we're asking folks to pay for options that we don't necessarily need to do this job.
I think on this vehicle, a lot of the stuff is just standard, probably some of the stuff. They probably don't make it straight down. Be my guess.
Well, and let me just say something about, and I questioned that also, Commissioner Ray, about what things are actually included as well. And they told me that they can't go with cloth. They have the cloth. And so that means that they either have to go leather type or vinyl type seating. And they said that they didn't make this vehicle vinyl seating. So the leather, I think, is explained out, and everything else, I don't have an explanation for. But it just comes as part of the package.
Right, that's what I'm trying to say is, I don't think you can expect a model of this. So.
No, you would, I get that. I think you would have to go to this Tahoe version
Right.
to get
Or
into.
maybe a different vehicle.
Right. Well, that is, a Tahoe.
Right, I understand.
A different vehicle.
Tahoe, Yukon.
Now, I will say, even though I made that argument, when I pulled the itemized listing for all of our enterprise, while most of our vehicles are $600 to $800 a month, most of them are small. We did add one specialty vehicle, so that was for Brian and EMA, so that he could pull his trailers, and that ended up being about, I think, $1,200 a month.
Yeah.
So this is not completely unique. That if we have a vehicle that has a higher set of standards that we have to spend a little more. I just think we're buying a premium vehicle, and if there was a good, not necessarily the best option, it might be a little easier to follow.
I think the issue you're running into with Brian's vehicle and then this one, these are technically on dealer lots. We're outside of the window of straight off of production. I don't honestly know how much of a difference that would make in one of these. It may be, $100 or $200 difference per month. That's about it. So,
What would be the time frame? You have any idea how long it would take to get?
well, if you get one off the production line, you gotta wait till next year. It's close. That's the way these things work is usually between like March or April and June or July is whenever they, have like their open governmental orders and then close them off and they basically allot X amounts. So it's, whatever across the country, whoever puts their orders in, that's what they get. And then once they're done, then you have to go to this, like network system, which they scoured and said, okay, this is what we need. And I'm sure that they probably, I think I told Patrick, we don't want all the bells and whistles. So I think this is the most base model you can get. But
Yeah.
right.
And it may be that having to have non-cross seats, maybe that's supposed to be primary package.
And I understand that.
And I guess my question is to you guys is, do we have enough information to make this decision? Or do I need to go back and get some information?
I get more information. It's not that we're saying no to this, it's just, can we check a little more?
So this vehicle is on the lot, and there is a time constraint because that dealer's going to sell this particular vehicle.
Then what's the time constraint?
Well, you want another 3 days.
You wanted,
I told him that you guys were meeting today, and to see if he could at least hold it. I would have some kind of answer for him by this afternoon.
how's this car handled at the end of this lease, Ashley?
We'll own it outright. It's
So
just
at the
like
end of 4 years, we own it outright. All right, so,
all the other ones that we leased all been under the assumption that we have a 4-year lease and then probably hold them for 6 years. at least.
I will say this, under series, it says this is the elevation series. Elevation series is the lower line.
I will say the bottom line to the end of the contract ends up being very similar to what my reference to the ETSP vehicle is. So it's probably as good a deal. And I just think it's a lot of money, but if it's the deal, it's the deal.
It's sticker shock.
Yeah, right, that's a good frame.
It's the fact that all three of us are cheaper.
Yeah. But, you know, that's the way vehicles are nowadays. That's just the way.
Yeah, and we've had, this isn't the only thing that we've had sticker shock on in the last year. I mean, it seems like every time we turn around, we have sticker shock. I just want you guys to be comfortable. If this is the way we want to go, if we want to look at something else, then I'll go back to the forum all the time. When we look someplace else, we do something else.
And I move to approve lease for 2025 GMC Yukon XL for use by the coroner's office. Monthly rental rate of $1,610.08.
Do we need more discussion, Jim? Make you feel better about that second. Okay, roll call, please.
Tim Atkinson,
Yeah,
Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Jim Reaper.
I think we talked our way all the way around that issue as much as we could. Okay, thank you, Freeman. Okay, for the other things on the agenda, I don't have anything on resolutions or ordinances or committee board appointments. I don't have anything on that. And miscellaneous actually has at least one article, right?
I do, and then maybe the budget and strategic.
We're not done. We're not done. We got another conversation to have. There's something that we need to take action on.
Well, part of it, yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and do that.
Okay, so, City of Carterville, you already approved, I think at the last meeting, they had provided pay estimate number 3 and number 4 for their downtown parking lot. Donnie Smoot, after looking at it and picked up the check, realized that he forgot to give the pay estimate number 1 and 2. So, their total project grant was $300,000. They've submitted bills for $252,000, but what we're going to do, the allotment that they have left is $160,087.04. So the city of Carterville is paying $92,000 plus of that downtown park, but it's completely finished. So this request is for $160,087.04. The Samron on there, plus the copy of one, I think one of the checks, both of the checks that the city clerk says.
And this finishes them up.
They'll be completely, they're taking the full 300,000. So they'll be. Just wait for some of this thing.
And nothing else for ARPA?
No.
It actually budgeted in the strategic planning.
Well, it just goes back to the corner people. I know that there's gonna have to be upfits and everything in that vehicle. I think that you guys, I don't know what your decision is on that, if you're gonna have a corner pay for that, all those upfits and the transfers of the, like the radios and whatever lights or anything he needs. I mean, out of the corner cremation board fund or if that's gonna come out of.
I would suggest that any improvements, anything he needs to make, will pay out of his own funds.
Great. Yeah, the lease amount from what my notes were when we budgeted, and we budgeted for a lease for that vehicle.
Right.
But but this amount is gonna eat that up.
Right.
So I don't feel like we have anything.
That's fine. I just want to make sure that I relay that to Pam, and she knows, because in my conversations I've had with her, the companies that are supplying, like the COD and the tray system and all that, are asking her, when is she going to place the order, and how do they do it? So I'm just making sure I pass that along to her.
So the coroner will need to come back to the board if that's not sufficient. But right now, I think the board's thought is that he'll pay that out of his own accounts.
There's plenty of money in those accounts.
Plenty of money in those accounts. Yes. Should you have anything else?
Um,
The BSA stuff?
I just to put it on your radar, I'm going to be, which I think I've talked to all of you individually. I'm going to be presenting an ERP system, hopefully at the September board meeting for approval. We've gone through all the demos. I'm giving you each a sheet for all the comparison purposes. I think we have one that will definitely meet the county's needs now and in the future. If we can go ahead and get this signed and we can possibly get it implemented prior to like the next budget cycle, which one of the modules is obviously a budget module. Super streamlined everything that we have going on now or have had to do.
Sticking under budgeting and strategic planning, this is just information. I asked Stephanie earlier in the week to start sending out the requests for budgeting from all the office holders and the entities that are outside the county budget that we do some budgeting for. And some of that stuff she's gotten back. And generally this September is going to be a really busy month. And I'll get back with you on trying to come up with some dates we might be able to do revenues early. Now, along the lines of budgeting, we've gotten an acceptance from our candidate for the internal auditor. And I don't have another contract put together yet for us to be able to send to her. And I've got Brett working on that contract together. And he may reach out to you guys to talk about what kind of job description, those kinds of things we officially memorialize in the contract. And I don't know if he's reached out to you yet or not. Tentatively, once she sees the contract and has the opportunity to go through it and she's formally accepted, I'll get you all of the contact information and all that so that you can reach out to her. But tentatively, her first date, her start date would be the Monday, the 29th. That would be her first full day. Now she's going to be coming in once again over the next couple of weeks to talk about office and materials that she might need in her office. So let's put that on the radar. We may have some furnishings and that kind of stuff that we need to take care of at the end of the month, prior to the end of the month.
Should we talk with the mayor as if she's gonna need a computer that probably don't have
Yes.
and a phone? I think we have some spare phones. We
We bought
purchased spare
extras.
phones,
Yeah.
but we might get an idea of what kind of software we're looking at, what we need, so they can get us a number on that.
And so when she does come in, and I think it might be as early as next week. Once again, once we have the contract, I wish I had the contract in hand. So she can look at it and then give us a formal acceptance of the position. And what she'd like to come in and she wants to talk about IT, what she needs for IT, and what that's going to look like. We have a couple of different offices, and Jim, you may have shown her the office.
I showed her Celeste's office.
Right.
And within that office, there's still all kinds of files that's been left as last day that Celeste was here. So we need to clear those files and store them somewhere.
There is also EMA's office since they're migrated to the Ross property. And that office actually has a front office, like a reception. And I told her, she asked about it, and I said, well, I don't know if would probably work. So I think we have some place to put it. I think there's plenty of room. I don't think we have to do any construction or anything else up there. Okay. So I don't know if I'm here, if I'll be here the day that she comes. When she gets back to me one day, if when you guys will be here, if I'm here.
Yep.
Appreciate it. Any questions or anything I need to ask her or you need anything?
We
from her?
clarify the for the office.
Well,
She won't. And that doesn't trigger until we reach 70,000
in a census,
in a census.
so the earliest would be 31.
Right.
The census would be at 30, and it would be 31 before you'd have the number, so the election, if it's in an even year, would be 32.
Gotta do 32.
So, but it does become an official state office.
Right.
And whatever goes along with that.
Right, kind of like the other statutory offices that we had. So no, I'm happy. I'm very happy that I think we've got a quality individual here. Someone who has a massive amount of experience. And she wants to sit in budget. So that's, and I should have continued on with September. I think we'll probably have a couple of days in September. Maybe we can need to do revenues. And then maybe get into meat and budget the 1st of October. And so we'll start looking at those dates.
Okay.
And we can do that. Love to have budgeting done by the end of October, if possible. So, does anybody have any questions on anything I need to do for anybody when it comes to that kind of stuff? Okay. Anybody have anything else for budgeting, strategic plan? Okay, I've got two other things. Oh, public comment. Does anybody need to make a public comment? I have anything you'd like to say? Okay. Moving on down. I've got two things. The first thing, Darrell Ross reached out to me, and he's one of the owners of Seminole Place on Crenshaw Crossing, on Crenshaw Road out there. And they've operated a transfer station out there for some time. And he reached out to me. They have a need to increase their permit limit with the IEPA from 300 tons to 400 tons per day. And typically something like this, whenever whoever is the chairman, get these things and just normally sign. And we just send them off because this doesn't take board action. But I wanted to inform you guys a little bit about this. That's a little bit extra wear and tear on the road out there. So I talked with George because I thought you guys may ask about this. So I talked to George Shepard about this. And did he see any issues with Crenshaw Crossing Road? And he's familiar with the way that they travel up and down the road as they take that waste away. And he said, absolutely not an issue with the extra tonnage. He said, we'll never notice it on that. But he did say that this could possibly help us in federal grants to get that road updated to a heavier duty road. So he was all in favor of this. He said, absolutely, for me to sign this permit. And what this is actually a letter of support for their action with EPA. So I just wanted to keep you guys informed on that. Do you have any questions about that or anything?
George would know, would help out, that's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, anything we can do to get federal money in here to help with our roads is a good thing.
What about the wear and tear of the
I didn't specifically ask him about that, but I think if he had an issue, he would say, yeah.
I drove by it yesterday. It's nice. So you did a good job.
It is nice, and just like the new roundabout that's on Wildcat Road over here in 37, I saw some tire marks across the middle. So somebody's going across the middle for that. If that happens.
Whatever the reason.
Yeah, but no, I think that makes that's such a safer intersection. I always thought it was a good thing, and I continue to think it's a good
You
thing.
have to see the one at 148.
Driven through it twice in the process, of course, you can't use it, but you can still get through it. It's a different scale to the other roundabouts. It's much larger, elevated.
Oh, really? They brought it up some?
Yeah, in the actual roundabout, when you drive past it right now, the concrete's up almost to your windows.
Holy
I
cow.
don't know. Not an engineer, I don't know what told them to do that, but,
They anticipated the flood waters or something?
See that or spike strips.
So maybe as they drive through the middle, if they get elevated, okay. I haven't been out there. I thought it was closed off. I didn't realize
you can still get through on one side.
Okay.
But once you do, then it's a long ways back around.
Okay. Well, and I've seen a little bit of the data from MIDOT whenever they start talking about these roundabouts and how much safer they are. And I think it's a good deal, and I think people are getting used to, acclimated to driving around those things. I think it is a good thing. Gentlemen, I only got one other thing that I'm aware of for today's meeting. And yesterday I received a letter from the ICMRT, which is our liability coverage for the county. They take care of our workers' comp, liability, and all the business insurance. And this is not unexpected. I actually have been having conversations with them since March. And the issue at hand is our coverage is intact, and it's intact until November 30th. And on December 1st, then we will have to renew with them, and that's the usual time we renew. But what's at issue here is our law enforcement liability and excess liability coverage. And as of right now, because they're required to send the county a notice of non-renewal, the non-renewal that we have covers only the law enforcement and excess liability. And that's because of our exposed risk and everything that we've had going on over in the sheriff's office. We've had lawsuits and everything else. Now, in my conversation that I've had with ICMRT for the last several months, they're going to provide us a quote. And we're not going to be denied coverage, but this is going to be a substantial difference in the cost and the type of coverage that we have for our law enforcement and excess liability. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is, first of all, you guys need to know that as soon as I know about it, you guys know about it. This is an official notice. And, I'd like some guidance from the two of you about what you think and which way we should go now, anticipating that we're going to get a coverage quote from them on this insurance. We're not going to be without, I got to stress that, we're not going to be without liability insurance. But I'm concerned about the overall cost, I'm concerned about what that coverage is going to look like. And since finding a new carrier, if that's the way you guys direct me to go, to find a new carrier, I just need that direction. If that's what you'd like me to do, to go out and start looking in the marketplace, putting together some kind of request for proposal. So I'll shut up and let you guys have a discussion about it.
My answer right now is I got the letter at 3 minutes to 8, so
And I'm
I
sorry.
don't have much to add to this. The last I heard, we had an issue with what I would call our policy book, and it was my understanding that was being taken care of. I never got an update on that, so I assume that happened. But I don't want to sit here and speak on assumptions.
Yeah.
So if we know we're going to get a quote, we're concerned it's going to be large, then it doesn't hurt to shop no matter what. And even if that's the route we're going to go, it's what we did with healthcare. We didn't think we're going to get a big increase.
And that's why I'm bringing this up right now. One, I think that's the direction from the two of you is just to put this out. And, but I didn't want to do that, and then I'm gonna start shopping this without detail know officially, but, because they're gonna be, the new people will be calling and trying to get information on it. So I just am trying to be as transparent as I can with you two guys.
Well, we have an idea what the increased cost is.
No, and I can't speak, I don't know, I have no idea what that'd be right now. If I said anything, it would be, it would prove to be false at some point in the future.
Well, I think at this point, it's good to know it's coming up. We need to stay on top of it, but
We just don't know,
there's not a decision to even consider it. I mean, it's not on an agenda, but,
but it's August 29th, and
I understand.
if we're gonna change coverage, I need approval from, I'd like your acceptance with guidance on going and looking.
I just don't think it hurts to get other, same thing we did with healthcare.
Okay. Okay, that's all I have. Like I said, this is something that we haven't had. I just wanted you guys to be completely informed on what I was working on here.
And Snedeker is our agent on this. I mean, they can do most of that gathering for us coming up.
Right, and they told me that I'm going up to Peoria in September, and they told me that they will absolutely have numbers for me in September. And I've been waiting for several months. Not several months, I've been waiting for 3 months now for those numbers to come in. I think they're still having conversations internally about where that's going to be at. Okay. Any other questions or anything else you'd like me to do on that?
And just to, little reassurance, I mean, we still have till December 1st.
We have, and I have been guaranteed that the coverage will be there after December 1st for our new next year. We will have coverage one way or another. It's just whether or not, what it looks like, what that price is going to be. Right, and for us, the coverage is important, but also making sure we're spending taxpayer dollars the correct way is the most important thing. And I just want to make sure that we're doing it.
Do they give you any idea as to reasons other than just lawsuits?
It's the extended risk in that office. So that's what that is. Because that's the only thing that's covered in this non-renewal. So workman's comp and all of our business coverage, everything else is included. And that also includes the business coverage in the sheriff's office.
You said you had conversations since March. So it was after ICRMT
Yeah, it was with IC Martin.
conversations with the sheriff.
Yeah, the sheriff, I informed the sheriff of this.
But that's not part of your statement since March.
No, I informed him of the non-renewal. He knows of the non-renewal. As
I
does
was
legal.
trying to play.
As does legal. Right. Right. And I didn't have anything to report because as of March, ICMRT was not sure that they were going to send us a non-renewal. So that's just something that they had to work their way through. But what they were wanting to do was give us a heads up that it was coming. But until I had it in hand, I had nothing to report to you guys, And I've had a handful of conversations with them since, asking what's going on. Are we going to have what's it going to be? And I got a call on Friday last week. I don't know, maybe it was Thursday last week that said they were going to send us non-renewal. Until I had it in hand, I didn't know what it looked like. Jim, does that answer all your questions?
Yeah, I just didn't look at the conversations. Just what you're saying, I don't look like you're saying.
Yeah.
Conversations since
Yeah. No, I did not inform the sheriff of the non-renewal until yesterday. Once again, I had nothing in hand. And this thing came in late yesterday. I saw it yesterday afternoon. So, okay. Do they have anything else for meeting today? there a motion to adjourn? We're going to stay here all day.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Jim Atkinson.
Yeah.
Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Jim Rand.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, everyone.